What is up, YouTube? This is Nightmare, and today I'm going to be bringing you all my updated build for the Nocturnal Nightblade stamina build, which was for a couple patches ago, and I've been playing it through the one Tamriel patch, and it's been a lot of fun. And this update is also going to work for the Homestead patch, so this is still on the one Tamriel patch right now, but from the changes from patch notes I've been reading, this build will still work perfectly fine for Homestead. So I'm going to go ahead and release the update for it right now. So first off, my racial change, I changed to a Gajit. My reasons for that was just for the crit chance from Carnage, 8%, the stealthy bonus, 10% extra damage from stealth, and the nimble for 10% extra stamina recovery. So since we switched to Khajiit and got the 10% stamina recovery, I went ahead and changed the stamina glyph to the stamina recovery glyph on my necklace, the marksman necklace, to weapon damage. So there, we're getting a little bit more weapon damage now with the build, hitting harder. So we have 3 weapon damage enchants on the jewelry now. Again, we're still wearing Divine's pieces. Those would still be better in pin, just can't afford it right now. Moving on, my marksman bow, I switched to a sharpened bow from Precise, and then I put a poison damage enchant on the bow too, instead of the crusher enchant. So the reason behind switching up the bow and the enchant is the poison damage enchant is going to give us more burst. It can crit for like 5k, and then the sharpened is just going to give us more damage. We still have the same greatsword, sharpened with weapon damage enchant. And then some of my skills, I was able to get this character Mage's skill 10. So on our 2H bar, I've been playing with, instead of Executioner, I play with Radiant Mage Light. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. Radiant Mage Light for the exposed enemies. One thing I hate about playing against other Nightblades is they'll stealth right on top of me. When they do that, I can just pop my Mage Light and they get revealed. They can't go back in stealth. So that's why I'm using that now instead of Executioner. We have so much damage that we don't need an Execute anymore, with Incapacitating Strike doing so much damage, and then if they're low health, I can just surprise attack to finish them off. I don't find a need for Execution or Reverse Slice. I use Reverse Slice only when I'm going through PvE content in the sewers. But if I'm ganking up top in Cyrodiil or up in the city, I use Radiant Mage Light for the Empower from Mage's Skill 10. That's why I needed Mage's Skill 10 for Might of the Guilds. 20% extra damage on the next attack you use. So pretty much, I'll be stealthed. I'll hit my rally, make sure that's up. Use Relentless Focus. Then on the 2H bar, I activate my Mage Light, Cloak, charge a heavy attack, and then heavy attack Poison Injection. And that burst alone is doing so much damage, it's almost one-shotting people. If they don't die, I can just ambush in and cap strike, and then surprise attack if they don't die, but they're usually dying right away from the empowered bow combo. So I'm gonna eat some food real quick. The food I'm using now is the Azorga's Max Health Stamina Recovery. And I'm going to just show you guys some of the burst on a simple ad. So just the rally, Relentless Focus, Empowered, charge the heavy Poison Injection, and just all 3 attacks, the Poison Enchant, the heavy attack, which is empowered, and the Poison Injection, it just has a lot of burst damage. Also, you can empower, sneak up, cloak, and cap, and that also hits pretty hard. I'll do that sometimes too. I'm going to proc my weapon damage enchant on the 2H so I can show you guys my max weapon damage out of stealth, I'm sitting at 3813 with 53.7% crit. In stealth, I'm sitting at 4102 weapon damage. So these are my max stats now. I have 2100 stam recovery and the 4100 weapon damage and 53.7% weapon crit. Health has dropped and max stamina has also dropped. That's because we went from Imperial to Gajit, but our weapon critical went up and our stam recovery went up. On the bow bar, we're sitting at almost 4,000 weapon damage with almost 57% crit. And I'm still using Flawless Dawnbreaker on the bow bar just for the extra 5% weapon damage. I was playing with Meteor on the bow bar, and I noticed a big drop off in damage when I lost the Flawless Dawnbreaker. Also, I got a Vampire Bite on this character now, so that's also giving me some more resource management with my Magicka. Magicka and Stamina Recovery by 10%. We get the Undead passive, which is very nice. And then Darkstalker is what I really was looking for the move speed while stealthed or crouching. So I'm able to move up to my targets a lot faster now with while performing my combo. I'm not moving slow while I approach them to get into range or whatever. So that's goes for the armor changes with just the weapon for the bow and then the enchant on the ring. And then I explained why I'm using Mage Light now for the Empower. So I'm going to go over to my champion points again real quickly. I still have 27 into Blessed. I used to have 10 into Shattering Blows, 1 into Melee Weapon Expert, and 1 into Bow Expert. I dropped those. I now have 93 into Mighty, 40 into Piercing, and then 27 still into Precise Strikes. We do have almost 60% crit, so that's why I like to have a little bit of Precise Strikes. And then we have a little bit more into Piercing now, just because there's so many builds running heavy armor. For the red tree, still 50 into resistance since we don't have any impin pieces. 60 and 60 for the Unchained passive, so when we do get stunned, we get to maintain our resources a little bit better. Get cheaper stamina abilities for a few seconds. I believe next patch they're changing this, so you don't get an 80% reduced for 3 seconds. I believe it's going to be one ability will get reduced cost by 80%, and you'll have like 5 seconds to activate that ability. So it's a little bit different, but it's not much of a nerf to this. And then 17 quick recovery just helps keep us alive. 10 into Magician. I still like points in Magician because we do have a few Magicka abilities like Cloak. I used to have a lot into Mooncalf. I switched it up and I'm running more into Warlord now, and I'm sustaining a lot better. The reduced cost is just definitely the way to go. And then 39 into Tumbling. I do dodge roll quite a bit. 10 into Shade for reduced cost of stealth. We're moving in stealth all the time with its builds. When we can, we want to open in stealth. So being a vampire helps with that, being able to move fast, a little bit faster at least. And then just performing your combo properly. Empowered, bar swap, heavy attack, poison injection. So that goes over the updated build for the Homestead patch and what I'm running right now. Stay tuned through the rest of the video because I do have gameplay. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Some of the gameplay is going to have Reverse Slice, some of it is going to have the Mage Light. Most of it has Mage Light, and most of it's going to be a lot of ganking and a little bit of 1vxing every now and then. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and I will see you guys in the next video.
You're out there right now, I can tell.
That's one.
Okay, I didn't see any points on mine yet.
One dead. 19.
Still only counts as one.
Because I know the flag is what the fuck to the neon sky. I trust the night at home. I left it all behind. So let me go. Just say goodbye. As I'm walking out of world, just close your eyes. You can leave me in the fire.
There you go, red whips again.
Oh, there's no red on
I see that.
the. Alright, one's down.
Not anymore.
There's another one somewhere. Careful. Hello? Anyone home?
Yep.
Oh, there he is. You can the grounds. Tell your mom there he is. Yeah, you better not, bitch. Fucking Rip.
Something's over
Alright, I found it.
You sure you want to be here? The big bag. Okay, that worked for me. Pretty glad he got. I'm starting to want the fun to sit here.
Select.
Just going to master. She's doing a sound like she's moving.